At which x value or x values does the following function have a point of inflection? Well, f of x is equal to x cubed times the quantity 2 minus x. Well, let's actually first distribute this x to the third through, because then it'll be easier to take the derivative once we do that. So f of x can also be rewritten as 2x to the third minus x to the fourth. And then from here, we can calculate the first and second derivative. So the first derivative, or f prime of x, is going to be equal to, by the power rule, 6x squared minus 4x to the third. All right, now we can find the second derivative. F double prime of x is going to be equal to 12x minus 12x squared. All right, and now what we can do is we can set our second derivative equal to 0 to determine the critical values, and then determine whether or not those critical values are points of inflection. And we can factor out a 12x from both terms, and when we do that, we will have a 1 minus x remaining in the parentheses. So therefore, x is going to be 0 or x is going to be 1. So those are our two critical values to test for concavity in between. So our sign chart for f double prime of x is going to have 0 and 1. So we can pick -1, 1/2, and say 2 in order to test for concavity. And when we're doing this, let's substitute it into the factored form of f double prime of x, which is 12x times 1 minus x. Okay, so when we substitute -1 in, we'll get -12 on the outside, and then 1 minus -1 will give me 2, which will be positive. So a negative times a positive is a negative. All right, now let's look at 1/2. 12 times 1/2 will be 6, that's a positive number, and 1 minus 1/2 will be positive 1/2. So two positives, that will make this section positive. All right, and now let's substitute 2 in there. So we'll have 12 times 2, that's a positive, and 1 minus 2 is going to be -1, so that's a negative. Positive times negative is negative. So we do have 2 points of inflection here. One is occurring at x equals 0, and the other is occurring at x equals 1. So answer choices 4 and 5 are in answer choice C.